I personally use the sonar. A couple of my team members can use it, but I tend to use it, and I locate them extremely quickly, and my dive team will go in and recover. So that's what, if I can't find them, it means they're not there. That's how confident I am. And again, for buried human remains, if they are in that wood or someone is in that wood, I will find them without a doubt. I just need to be in the right place. And again, it's hunting for the right place and having the knowledge, knowing where to actually go to actually look for these victims. And it's really, really important. I think once you get to the stage where in the local area that we can cover so much ground, but it's, people who often abducted and murdered, they generally don't go that far. They generally don't go that far from the area, or they're taken that far from the area. Everything is focused on the river at the moment, and that's what I was surprised with. Well, there's huge areas to search, and I think I just say I advise the public to stay away from the area and try not to, come in from outside and start breaking into sheds. What's happened? That's bad news. It's upsetting the locals. The police are searching around the village in certain areas, but there's always having expertise, additional expertise. I say I'm registered with the National Crime Agency, an expert, so that expertise can assist. We have our own helicopter, so I'm looking now at online, on the Ordnance Survey maps that we carry on possible deposition sites. I mean, from previous experience working on all these cases, that generally a body is buried within 50 metres of a trackway. That's the general. So the police can only cover so much ground, but it's always good to have another pair of eyes and expertise on the ground to work alongside rather than interfere. And I want to make that clear, not interfere with their investigation. Now, the day Nicola went missing, at the bottom of the bank, it was about 2 foot of water into the river onto a rock shelf. So my view is if she had gone in there, she would have landed on the rocks unless she was pushed extremely hard and literally launched herself into the river. But again, the river was not flowing fast. That's been confirmed by the family. And normally when we recover drowning victims, they are down within 2 to 3 feet of where they go down. There can be a slight flow on the river. It can carry them slightly. But each year, say we deal with a number of suicides, number of drownings, and on witnessed drownings, they're normally roughly where they go. If we look back at Ellis Downs, he laid in a river for 3 days. We found Alex is exactly the same place as he drowned, unfortunately. If Nicola had been there, she would have potentially floated up by now. After about 10 to 14 days, can be less, depends on the body makeup. Bodies normally float to the surface. I don't want to go into the detail of that, but it's normally dog walkers who find them. And it's been thoroughly searched. The area where Nicola went in was searched thoroughly by very professional police divers on the day, very thoroughly, and she was not there, which leads me to believe, because of their competency, that she is not in that river. That's my view. But we got involved 10 days after, and then we researched that area with up and down stream, extremely thoroughly, with high frequency side scan sonar. So that's leading me to other theories, obviously. On this particular job, looking at this, I'll be looking at possible deposition sites and looking at ground sign rather than just running a radar. When you're looking in woods and things like that, you're looking at potential disturbed ground, and that's what I've got a keen eye for. So you've got to know what you're looking for to actually find, buried things. So it's not just about the radar, although I carry it with me. It's mainly about understanding ground sign. Nicola's either gone in the river at some stage, which is looking more unlikely the days as we go. She's either walked off on her own or she's been abducted. She could be being held somewhere. There's so many avenues to look at in this particular inquiry, but all need to be explored. So although you've got all this specialist equipment, it's that knowledge that assists with finding these sites. I mean, hopefully, we all hope, but Nicola's alive and well somewhere. I'm hoping Nicola's just run away. That's what we all hope, and that's what Paul hopes. But I'm just going to assist the family quietly on my own, without trying to keep it low key. Not lots of vehicles around, and just as trying to assist them in trying to get some sort of answers. And I'd probably be working alone, but at least I can feed anything back to the police. The helicopter is there purely for a flyover to give me a good lie of the land. I mean, I say I can put a drone up, but I'll generally fly around sort of a 500 feet above the ground, and I can, follow roads. I can look at possible deposition sites. I probably have one of my team members taking photographs from the air of, blocks of woodland and things like this, laybys and all sorts of things. So we're going to actually start putting a search strategy together. I mean, I'll have a good search strategy already this week, looking on my computer, looking at the Ordnance Survey maps. And that'll give me a good detail, and then I can put that into my software and then fly that route to get an overview again. From the helicopter, I can get an extremely good view, just like drones, but I can see for miles with it, which makes my life a little easier. Then on the ground, it's on foot then, with a vehicle on foot going into these locations and having a thorough search around. I mean, I live on a farm in Sussex, so I live on the land. I understand about plant growth. I understand about sticks. It's the way things grow. The good thing about this disappearance of Nicola is fresh. It's not an old cold case I'm working on, so it can make life a lot easier as long as it's not left too long. We need to find Nicola. The police need to find Nicola, and to give this family some form of closure, because they're in absolute agony at the moment, absolute agony, and it's horrible to see.